More than 2 decades in the waiting, an admission from Fujitsu that its accounting system was doomed from the start. So too the sub-postmasters and mistresses whose lives were destroyed following accusations of theft, all because of bugs in its Horizon software that it and the post office knew about all along.
As a company, for the last couple of years, it has known of the existence of these bugs, errors and defects at a corporate level.
Yes, in fact, all the bugs and errors have been known at one level or not for many, many years, right from the very start of deployment of this system. There were bugs and errors and defects which were well known to all parties, actually.
Not only did Fujitsu's Europe chief tell the inquiry the post office had been told of errors, he said that information was taken out of witness statements by the post office in order to prosecute sub-postmasters.
No doubt you would regard that as shameful.
I would, yes, that would be one word I would use.
What's the other one?
Shameful, appalling. My understanding of how our laws work in this country, that all of the evidence should have been put in front of the sub-postmaster that the post office was relying on to prosecute them.
Today we heard that Fujitsu had identified several bugs in the system from the very beginning. Bugs that Paul Patterson said were shared with the post office over the next 2 decades. Now, as those bugs were described one by one in the inquiry, the sub-postmasters listening to his evidence shook their heads in recognition and anger. One of them was Mark Kelly. He ran the same local post office in Swansea as his parents had before him, but he's also a computer specialist and a whistleblower who spotted one of these bugs. His warnings were ignored. He was accused of stealing by the post office, lost his job, home, and was hospitalised after a mental health breakdown. How frustrating was it to know that information for fact and not be able to speak about it publicly, for it to be suppressed?
For me, going back, once I become more mentally aware, I became very depressed. I felt guilty from it all. I took a lot of the blame from it. I felt, I don't know if I can say it, suicidal from it.
Fujitsu has apologised for its flawed system and the flawed data it produced for the post office's prosecutions, more than 900 of them. When asked why it took until this week to promise compensation, Paul Patterson said Fujitsu had let the sub-postmasters and society down, that it had a moral obligation to pay, one so long in the waiting.